Just hello. I'm just so glad that somebody's picking up on this. Now, let me tell you something. I don't really get into celebrity gossip, but I do like certain things. I'm liking Nosy Whole Live. She used to go by Sunshine. Like I subscribed to her when she first got on YouTube, and her name was Sunshine. Okay. And then she got this new channel. Well, it's not new. I just haven't gotten into it. It's called Nosy Whole Live. That's more of a celebrity gossip channel, and I never really tuned into that kind of channel because just really I don't care who the YouTuber is. Tisa Tales, Tasha K, Lovely T. It doesn't matter. Storm Monroe, unless they talk about somebody in particular that I'm interested in hearing about. I just I don't get into celebrity gossip. But I tell you though, I've been looking at Nosy Whole Lives past lives. I'm looking at the one with Don Richards right now because I want to know what happened with Don Richards. I know she had came out with a lawsuit, but I haven't been following up with it. I just, it's so much that I'm busy during the day, and then when I come home, is I have like 2 to 3 hours to really I have 2 to 3 hours before I go to bed, and that has to be dedicated to me winding down and getting out of the world, right, and getting back to the real me. And so then I just never have time for this stuff. But now I'm going back to listen to this video that she did 4 weeks ago. It's called Diddy's New Lawsuit! Exclamation point. Don Richard. I guess her name is Don Richard and not Don Richard because she's calling her Don Richard. Don Richard name drops Usher, Neo, and Kalina in lawsuit. Kalina responds. Okay, and when was this uploaded? It says 4 weeks ago. It was uploaded on September 14th, 2024. September 14th, 2024. I'm going to tell you what I'm liking about this because, well, I want to tell you something that I actually like that somebody finally brought up. Cassie. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that's seeing that this is, people saying this is Diddy spell. A lot of people say this is like people are being distracted by the Diddy stuff. This is Diddy. I forget how they call it. Like Diddy spell, the Diddy spell. I think it's the Cassie spell. I told you I saw Cassie wearing a top hat I saw a vision of Cassie wearing the top hat. This is her like she is the one that's I think she's behind the scenes manipulating a lot more than Diddy and maybe whoever's helping her. And I'm going to get to this comment. I'm glad somebody else is not seeing Cassie as completely innocent. Now, I'm not saying that somebody have a right to put their hands on her. I want to make it clear I'm not saying that. But here's where I'm going to go, and I'm going to go here unapologetically. That these other women keep getting criticized for going back. Like, if somebody's so dangerous, why they go back? Why you continue to go back? Now, I get that. I don't know what kind of arrangement Cassie had. If she signed a contract that she had to keep messing with Diddy. Sometimes these people sign contracts that they have to, in the public, be in a relationship. And they sign a contract that your contract is not going to be up until this certain time. So I try not to get on Cassie about going back, because when it comes to those celebrities, I don't know what kind of contracts they under. And she probably was under a contract where she signed it and she felt like she couldn't get free. I want to say this: when you witness so much illegal stuff happen, it gets to a point where I don't know how well that contract holds up. If you're witnessing people commit a crime, I'm sure. Here's my point. So I'm as Nosy Whole Live and her this person named Sinitra. It's going over they're going over Don Richard's lawsuit. And it looked like stuff ain't adding up. Don Richard's talking about how she witnessed Puffy beat on Cassie on multiple occasions and stuff. And they saying, well, if you witness somebody beating up on Cassie, if you witness him beating up on Cassie, why didn't you help her? Why didn't you say something? Okay, and you saw that. And that is for me an issue. if you do see a man beating up on a woman, at this point, this is not hearsay. You witnessed him beat up on somebody. So why you went back to him and I honestly believe, this is me, what I believe, they probably had a consensual sexual relationship that probably went south because she probably didn't get what she was promised that she was going to get. And I actually feel like that was the case for Cassie as well. I feel like maybe Cassie went public because he promised her something and he didn't make good on his promise. I get the feeling that he does that a lot. And I feel like that was the reason why Cassie wanted her money too. It's not so much that you feel like he's a monster. It's that because he didn't, I think it's because this guy didn't make good on his deal. So let me get back to Don Richard. I get the point they make it, but I'm trying to understand why people are not making this point. They're not arriving to this conclusion when it comes to Cassie. I'm trying to understand, do they think that Cassie saw nothing? The same reason why these women kept wanted to mess with Diddy, it's the same reason Cassie messed with Diddy. I'm trying to understand why these women are rightfully being held accountable. Even for like Don Richards, I think she mentioned that he even dealt with children. Like they saw child trafficking or something like that. They witnessed maybe child trafficking or child abuse of children. And they got on her for like not saying nothing. But I'm trying to understand, do you think that went past Cassie? Do you think that went past her? And so I'm going to get to this. What I like is while I'm looking at this live, I decided to go to the chat because I rarely read the chat, but this time I wanted to go back to the chat. And I'm at an hour and 18 minutes and 37 seconds of this live that was done on September 14th, 2024. Okay, I'm at an hour and 18 minutes and 37 seconds. And this is the one talking about Diddy's new lawsuit. From Don Richard, name drops Usher, Neo, and Kalina in lawsuit. And I'm looking at this comment by this person named Luna Lily in the chat. Named Luna Lily, Luna Lily, in the chat. And she is the only one that I see so far that said Cassie needs to be locked up too. She needs to be locked up also because I agree. If you feel like I'm not, and I feel like people have every right to feel the way they do. The Don Richard probably witnessed a lot of child abuse. Never mind the abuse of adults because she was abused as an adult by him as well. So I know she's seen plenty of abuse of women and men also. Just because a man got muscles don't mean he can go up against Diddy because Diddy have judges and lawyers and officers in his pocket. So just because you somebody with muscles don't mean you can go up against him, somebody who have just about everybody in their back pocket. And they're connected to a lot of people in the industry that whatever he can't do, he's going to be able to contact Oprah. I mean, I don't know if people get that. I don't know if he's going to be able to contact Oprah. He might be able to contact Clive Davis. He might be able to contact Tony Mottola, whoever. Or even people that we don't even know their names. Jay-Z, hello, Jay-Z, Beyonce. This is not just Diddy. You're going to have to deal with a lot of people that he's connected to. There are other powerful people in the industry that he's connected to that has more power than he does. And then he got judges and police officers. And if he don't got them in his back pocket, Jay-Z does. Clive Davis does. Oprah does. Okay? And the list goes on and on. I mean, heck, Joel Osteen maybe. T.D. Jakes maybe. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah. So, getting back to the point, yes, she most likely witnessed the abuse of adults, men and women. Okay? Because she, and it probably went past her because she probably been abused so many times herself by him that it just became a normal thing as long as she get her check. But when you see the abuse of children, I feel like that's why I draw the line too. I feel like that's why I draw the line too. To see the abuse of children and you still stay around, I'm not understanding I'm not going to say I'm not going to understand, because it's not, I don't want to, I'm trying to stay away from judging folks. And the reason being is because you don't know how effed up you can really be. Just because you ain't effed up right now, you don't know how much of an effed up person you can really be. You don't know the dark side of yourself well enough to know how effed up you can really be. And I said this before. So I'm really trying hard to stay away from judging, but I will say, I got to call a thing, and I need to call a spade, that something happened where she can watch the abuse of children and it does not turn her stomach. And it does not prompt her. I'm going to tell you something I did. I saw somebody make a Facebook video. And this lady, and I don't even look at Facebook, and this was years ago, but somebody posted this on their YouTube or something, and I went back to try to find that video on Facebook, and I wanted her name. And it was a lady somewhere in the South, I think it's somewhere outside of Atlanta or whatever. She said that she went to some Asian restaurant, like Chinese food or whatever, and she saw this little baby. It's a separate people, and she saw this baby, and this baby was getting molested by this grown man. Like, the man could have been in his 20s or something, and she said he looked like he was fingering the baby or something, like playing in her vagina, and this was a baby. And so I'm glad that she was brave enough to go walk over there and say, "What are you doing?" I'm glad that she was brave enough to go over there and confront him and stop him from what he was doing. But do you know what happened? She said that the man's girlfriend, or the mother of the child, and the grandmother, who was sitting not too far from him while he was touching his baby. You had other women sitting at the table while he was touching his baby. I don't know how he can put his hands on that baby like that. And you got somebody else way across the restaurant that can see him put his hands on her vagina. And you got people sitting at the table that can't see this, and other ladies sitting next to him. But do you know she said that the doggone ladies hopped on her, saying that he was just playing? They hopped on her. Seems like a lot of women seem to be okay with the abuse of children. But the point I'm making is, I'm glad that she was brave enough to go and stop him from what he was doing. Now, by the time they went home, that's another story, because she's not going to be there to stop what's happening to that little girl once they get home. But she was able to stop what was happening in that restaurant. And do you know, when I saw that video, I called CPS, I called whoever I could call, whatever came in my mind at that moment. And people can say, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. No, I did what was in my mind to do at that moment. I can't think the way everybody else feel like I can think. If they said they would have done something different, you got to know that people are not going to think the way you always think they should. But what I did, I had a mind to call CPS, and I said, I saw this girl's video. I saw this woman's video. It's a Facebook video. And she's talking about how she witnessed this guy pretty much molesting this little baby. And I said, do you have an email? I want to send you the video. I told her the lady's name, and I said, she said she's some kind of model or something. But I sent her the lady's the entire video. I sent her the video, the Facebook video, so she can see it. At CPS. Okay. Because I don't know what part of, I don't even know if they were in Atlanta or outside of Atlanta. That information she didn't even want to give. And she didn't even give the name of the restaurant that she was at. Right? And like I said, I didn't catch the live. So this was something that was shared by somebody else on YouTube. And I said, oh no, all I know is that she is somewhere, she might be outside of Atlanta, but I don't know if she's in the metro area or where she is. It was just outside of Atlanta. Which still sounds like it could have been near Atlanta. Right? But I'm just saying that, the best I could do, and I was in California calling somebody in Atlanta. I was living in California, still living in California. But I was living in California. And I'm not trying to make myself self-righteous, because I know I'm not perfect. But my point is that I agree with these ladies, something is going on. You're not right if you can witness bad things happening to children and you still stay around and probably still mess around with them. But my question is that I don't have a problem with that, with how they ripped Dawn Richards into shreds. I think she probably should be ripped into shreds for wanting to have people feel sorry for her, but she sat back and watched things happen to little children and other people get abused, and she didn't have anything to say. And I know she included in that police report, well, at the parties, he had police around. So, it's nothing she can do. Basically saying that he got the police in his back pocket. They're going to do what they're loyal. Basically, they're loyal to him. The police department is loyal to him. So I don't know what she could have done in that instance. I don't even know if she could have just walked away. Because if you're in a situation, I always feel like that's going to come to bite me in the butt to witness things like that and to not say nothing. And unless you're being held against your will, I probably would have had to just leave it alone. And I get, he would have messed up my career. I don't want that kind of crap on my conscience. I don't want that kind of crap on my conscience. It's just me though. I don't want that kind of stuff on my conscience. To know that I sat back and I watched these things happen to a lot of these children and other people, but really the children. And to just not do anything. Even if I had a chance to walk away but I want to protect my career because he might blackball me. I like that could be, no. See, the thing is, this is what I said before. It's on my video called Do Not Rejoice When Your Enemies Fall. These people who sit back and watch, they're just as bad as Diddy. It's almost like they commit the crime themselves. Because if they are complicit in it enough, they're going to stay so they can get their opportunities to the point where they just go numb to what happens to children. I feel like they committing the crime too. And I said this before. These people that want to act like they self-righteous, coming back reporting what they saw Diddy do, calling him a monster and saying, and I'm not saying that what he did is monstrous. My point is that these people that sat back and witnessed this for all these years didn't do anything about it. Where is the report that said that they tried to call the police? Where is the police report? Where is it that they said any of these people ever call the police? Or not even call the police, try to say something. And have a record of you saying something. Right? Have a record of you at least saying something. Even if you want to, not give up your identity. I don't know how that works, because if you say you don't want to give up your identity and they still ask you your name, then you can't trust people these days. People are messed up. That's why I don't like people, and I feel like people need to be no more right now. But to be honest with you, people are messed up because this is a very low. This is like a lower level of hell, and the lower you get into hell or the underworld, the more depraved people become. I realize this is a simulation, so I'm at the point of feeling like we're seeing the most evil kind of people, because this is the underworld, and it's a lower part of the underworld. But I'm really okay with a lot of people disappearing in this reality, because it is true. Has she decided to was anonymous? And I don't know if she decides to be anonymous. Then could she have gone back today and said, "Look, this is the time I tried to report, and here's the anonymous report that I made"? Could she go back to that if she wanted to be anonymous? But my question is, if you're anonymous, are you really anonymous with the police who you are speaking to? Are you anonymous with them? Because you can't trust no doggone body. People are people are evil as heck. People are wicked. And so even with the person you talk to, will they keep you anonymous, or are they in Diddy's pocket? Right? Or whoever you talk to, whoever it is that you want to talk to, CPS, whoever you talk to, are they in his pocket? The person that you speak to, are they going to be more loyal to you? I mean, are they going to be more loyal to Diddy? Are they going to be Are they going to be loyal to the safety of the children? Okay, because these people are wicked. People, they get crazy over money, and people, they don't do that like they are in a certain position. But When money comes up, people are just turning all kinds of crazy. When it comes to money, they get all kinds of crazy, and all morals go out the doggone door. Okay, and then you just might be unalive for saying something. So I want to stay clear of really passing judgment. As me, I want to stay clear. The only thing I have to say about Dawn Richards is, why didn't she leave? Because she had an opportunity to leave. It sounds like she had an opportunity to leave. With Cassie, I don't know if Cassie had an opportunity to leave. I don't know if she had an opportunity to leave, because I feel like him and Cassie had a different type of arrangement. But when it comes to Cassie, whatever arrangement you had, it seems like when it comes to you witnessing a crime being committed, it seems like that arrangement, like if you sign an NDA, an NDA is not going to work if you go in and rob a bank and somebody say you need to sign this NDA to say that you so you don't, to make sure that you don't go back and tell anybody that we robbed the bank. Like, you're committing a crime. An NDA will not hold up if you're committing a crime. If you go and shoot somebody and murder somebody, well, that's a crime. Now, NDAs don't seem to, I don't feel like, it's not even that I feel like it. I've already heard this by law. I've heard lawyers say this when I watch them go over these lawsuits. That how these celebrities keep having them sign NDAs, but the NDA go out the door when crimes are committed. Like, if you witness a doggone murder, the NDA goes out the door. Okay, an NDA holds up if the person ain't doing nothing illegal and they just don't want their business out there, like maybe an orgy. Well, if it's all grown adults, stuff like that, and if they actually consented instead of somebody being raped, when you think it's an orgy, but they probably knocked out from drugs and being raped, that's a crime, right? But you probably wouldn't know that unless you really up in their face like that, and you got to be in the bed with them or wherever they are. So you wouldn't know that much. But what I'm saying is, like, if you happen to look through the crack of a door or whatever and you see orgies and stuff happening, okay, well, that's not against the law if there are adults in there consenting, and that's not against the law. To me, that's when an NDA, what's it called? Is that called? Yeah, NDA. To me, that's when the NDA holds up, right? Because that's not a crime. They just don't want their business out there like that. But when you witness children being sex trafficked, or even if you witness human trafficking, I believe that's a crime too, right? Sex trafficking, isn't that a crime? I'm going to go as far as say, if you even see drugs, I believe that's illegal too, right? Isn't drugs illegal? Like, what happened? Isn't drugs illegal? Okay, but anyway, but people get so numb to, it's just drugs. Like, wait a minute, isn't that illegal? Don't people still go to prison for that? I don't know. I'm like, this shit been so normalized, I'm trying to wonder, is that illegal? Like, I know that marijuana has been made legal, but, like, is it illegal to do drugs? Like drugs that are not, have, like, cocaine or crack, right? Like, people say, y'all saw that? Like, what? Yeah, we used to go to parties all the time, and so you went there more than once and you saw that? Okay, all right. Isn't that illegal? But anyway, yeah. So, no, I can definitely see saying, why does she keep going back if she was not held against her will? Dawn Richards. Because for you to keep going back means that you might be a nothing ass B. You might be a nothing ass B. Because especially if nothing was holding you against your will. Cassie could have been held against her will. But I want to be clear that she chose that lifestyle because she was in a relationship with another producer. He wasn't as well known as Diddy. But Diddy was able to take her further. She was in a relationship with a producer. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time trying to understand why people cannot see this stuff in Cassie like they're able to see it in Dawn Richard. Like they're able to see it in what's her name, Young Miami. I don't know these people. All these folks. Like they're able to see it in marriage, they oblige. Like they're able to see this stuff in all these people. I'm trying to understand why does it seem to be hard that you can't see this stuff. Could have been in Cassie too. I'm trying to understand why that's not people not getting that part. Is it because of how she looks? I think it's more than how she looks. I get that she got this I think she got this young, innocent, and she looked like she's a sweet person. I feel like Cassie looked like she's a sweet person. She might be a sweet person, but the same way these other ladies turned a blind eye, she did too. And I don't know why people are not wanting to see that, because Cassie turned a blind eye as a grown woman. She chose Diddy as a grown woman. I don't know. I don't know if she was over 18. I think she might have been over 18. She chose to be with Diddy. She chose to leave her boyfriend, who was a producer. He created music. He was creating music for her. So she wanted to be in the music industry because she was already with a guy who was a producer, but he wasn't that big. He didn't have the power that Diddy had to get her on the airwaves like that. He didn't have that kind of clout. Okay, but he was able to make music. I want to see if I can find that video about Cassie and her boyfriend that she was with before Diddy. Okay, and it looked like this guy was like really in love with Cassie, and this was a black man. This was a black man, and he was making music for her, helping her with, albums and stuff. But I guess this guy was not taking Cassie where Cassie wanted to go. And when Diddy came along, I don't know if this man might have known Diddy. I don't know what happened, how this Cassie got introduced to Diddy. But Diddy I would say that Diddy took Cassie from this guy, but I think Cassie chose Diddy and dumped his boyfriend. And my thing is that why can't people see that the same way these other women were thirsty? Why can't people see this in Cassie? And this is no judgment against Cassie. It's more me pointing the finger at everybody else who cannot see through Cassie. Like, she had a right. I feel like she has a right to get whatever is owed to her. I feel like she has a right to get that. But what I'm not really getting is that how are people able to hold Don Richard accountable and hold all these other women accountable? And some people even hold Kim Porter accountable, because a lot of people not holding Kim Porter accountable either. But I think I heard Cynthia G going in on Kim Porter, because a lot of other people are treating Kim Porter like she's a victim too. Now, domestic violence is never okay. But they are not somebody who are not of a sound mind when they decided to be with an abuser, and knowing that they are who they are and continue to stay in the relationship, not only after continually being abused by the person, but even after witnessing them do things to children. Because the same way you can say Don Richard witnessed all this stuff happen, you can't tell me Kim Porter ain't know something. I think Kim Porter might know him better than Kim Porter might know P. Diddy better than almost anybody else other than his mama. Right? So why aren't they getting this heat? Why isn't Kim Porter and Cassie getting this heat? I get that Kim Porter passed away. So people want to be easy because she passed away. But the same way you want to make her a victim, you gotta also say some of the things that she witnessed, and she probably turned a blind eye to it too. Okay? But I just felt like talking about that. What did Cassie witness? And like I said, I'm glad to see, and I was so glad to see this comment that I just wanted to upload a video. But once again, her name is Luna Lily, saying that Cassie needs to be locked up also. Because it seems like nobody else is coming to this conclusion that Cassie possibly witnessed children being abused. Right? And you really got to give people the opportunity to answer to that. Why didn't you do anything about it? Why didn't you say something? You got to give people the opportunity to answer to that, because I'm not interested in trying to defend people. Well, maybe she this and maybe she that and maybe she. No, I'm not going to say that. Maybe I'm not going to speak for her. She needs an opportunity to answer that question. I'm pretty sure that you witnessed these things happen. When you are with somebody, you in a relationship with somebody, you spend a night with somebody, you were at the house, she has spent more time with Diddy than all these other band people in the band, making of the band, and all these other people, artists. Cassie spent more time with Diddy than all these other artists that witnessed him do these things. But yet and still, not only was Cassie at the freak offs and the parties, she lived with him. So I'm pretty sure, even like along with Kim Porter, she knew a lot of she knew a lot more stuff. She knew a lot more. So there's all kind of reasons why you can say that she didn't say anything after witnessing that, but at the same time, then if you want to if people, when I say you, I'm speaking to people in general. If people want to give Cassie grace because of whatever reasons there could be, that it might be good reasons, or it might not be good reasons. Whatever reasons it is, if people want to give her grace, I feel like these other women should have grace too then, because if you want to give grace to Cassie, when I know that most likely she just wanted somebody who was going to be able to push her music career, because she was already with the producer that was making her music for her, but he didn't have like I said, he didn't have a name at the time. I think his name was Puff Daddy. I don't know what his name was at the time. It kept changing. But that person did not have her boyfriend at the time did not have the name that Puff Daddy had, and she went with Puff Daddy and left her boyfriend. And I believe that man loved her. Now she is with the man who loved her now. People say, well, God gave her another chance. Well, yeah, God probably gave her another chance, but you got to know, sometimes you never know the person that she's with. She's probably already familiar. Like, I'm not saying that God didn't give her this person, but I'm saying, so, like, because somebody might be single, do you think God is keeping somebody from them? So what I'm saying is that there's a lot of people who can meet somebody else who's a good person for them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that the stuff that she just swept under the rug, that doesn't mean that she's clear of that. It doesn't mean that she's in the clear. Just because she met a nice person and she's married to a nice person right now, and it seems like her life is well and she's out of the industry. I don't think that she's over the industry. I think that this is all her doing. I think this is her spell. That's just me. I think this is her spell. I don't think she's out of the industry. I think she went about it a different way. This right here made Cassie a superstar. This made Cassie a superstar. I'm going to tell you something else. She sacrificed Diddy. She sacrificed Diddy. I ain't complaining. I'm not complaining. I don't give a darn. I'm just telling you what it seems like things are starting to come together. She sacrificed Diddy. That lady is a star. She is a superstar. She is the star in all of this. She's the star. What a way to get into the entertainment industry. What a way to get in. She is the star. But she came out at the right time. You have to come out at the right time. Had she tried to come out 10 years later, it might not have been nothing, because it has to be the right time to come out. So then this is another person that might understand astrology or whatever, understand how things work, understand how energy works. The energy 10 years ago might not have been right for her to do what she did last year. She came out when the energy was right. She's dealing with some magicians. She's dealing with some witches and warlocks. Okay? I'm not saying anything wrong with being a witch or a warlock, anything. I'm just saying what it is. Okay? I feel like this is her spell. Okay? But that's it. That's all I want to say is that yeah, that person said Cassie should be locked up also. Well, yeah, if you want to say all these other people need to be locked up because they witnessed bad things happen to children and they didn't say anything, and they actually was a first-hand witness, like they saw it with their own eyes. It's not hearsay. They saw it. Well, okay, I can agree if you feel like they should be locked up, but then at the same time, what do you have to say about Cassie? What do you have to say about Kim Porter? Well, Kim Porter is gone, but at the same time, don't people continue to make Kim Porter a victim? Is she 100% a victim? Is Cassie a victim? Yeah, he put his hands on her and he shouldn't have been beating her like that. And he shouldn't have been doing the things he did. Yeah, so that could have made her a victim in that sense. But is she completely innocent in all of this? The same way these other ladies are being held accountable. Should Cassie be held accountable? What does she see? Because Cassie was around him way more than all these other women were. She was around him way more. So what did she probably saw more than these other ladies saw. She probably saw more than Don Richard saw, right? But anyway, with that being said, I'll talk later.